Yo, what's up? Welcome to Numbers with Ishtakari. I'm your host, Ishtakari, and in this episode, we're talking about the number one. Now, I did an episode once upon a time about the number one, but now that I have an actual guide / book out called Intro to Numerology that goes over these numbers, I really want to revamp all the numbers, 0 through 9. I really want to get into them all, so that's what we're going to be doing. So if you're liking what you're hearing, make sure you share it on your socials and tag me at Numbers with Ishtakari on Instagram and TikTok, and all the direct links are in the description of this episode. But let's go ahead and start talking about the number one, because she's ruled by the sun, first of all. And something that don't sit right with me is how every single time you hear about the number one, all people will say is starts, beginnings. Baby, what else? Because I know there is something else in there, and I got you, because that's what you're here for. And the number one is not only just that. There's also a level of change in that, but also a potential. You can become something, and also a creation as well, because the number one of my favorite things about it is how illuminating it is, because it's ruled by the sun. So if you think about what the sun does for the solar system, which is a whole goddamn lot, that's what the number one is sort of kind of doing. Is it's really taking up this space to create life in and of itself. Of our lives as beings would be drastically different if the sun wasn't doing what the sun is doing. Life on the planet would be drastically different if the sun wasn't doing what it was doing. And that's sort of kind of how one embodies what it carries, of this ability to illuminate and create this light to bring a new awareness to you, basically, and bring an awareness to a large group of people as well. So this can also bring into conversation its social impact of the number one, and how it moves in that social impact. Because also another thing that people love to point out is one is a natural leader. Now, on that note, I would like to bring up the fact that all numbers have a level of duality. So it's just like the number one of if you have a psychic number one, if you're born on the 1st, the 10th, the 19th, or the 28th, or a life path one, or one anywhere else in your numerology, whether you're using Pythagorean terminology or using any other numerology system. If you have a number one anywhere dominantly placed and you don't feel like a leader, baby, that makes sense. You know why that makes sense? Because duality. And in that duality, just like a number one can be a leader and an innovator and a catalyst, it has the same amount of space to be the absolute opposite of it. Can be a follower. It can be somebody who likes tradition. It can be somebody who's very stagnant. And there's not necessarily anything inherently wrong with that, because for there to be an opportunity to create something larger than life, there also has to be the opportunity to create nothing at all. And it goes both ways, and all numbers are like that. And I think that's something that's interesting in one's ability to be both, just like every number, of it being this beautiful, illuminating thing that I just was speaking about. It can also be mad cocky. It can also be mad controlling. It can also be mad ruthless and stubborn. And it's just like, it can be those things. And I feel like that stubbornness is highlighted in the fact that it's like, okay, I'm gonna keep doing it the way that it's always been done, because that's what I'm comfortable with. It embodies those other themes. And I go more in depth into that in my guide, Intro to Numerology, plus a bunch of other stuff if you're getting so much more than just, oh, one is the number of beginnings, the number of starts. Listen, man, I understand that a lot of people will sit up here and tell you they know about numbers and tell you they know what they're talking about and not really have the proof in the pudding. But you might have learned something, and I hope you did, because I sure did enjoy talking about it, because the number one is really like that. It's really like that. And I think something cool in it being like that is you can see it play out real time in society, of celebrities' numerologies and public figures' numerologies, of looking at psychic numbers and really being able to see how influential these people have been. And regardless of how you feel about any of the people I'm about to name, they're all psychic ones. And they embody this one energy that is so potent and so just inescapable in its own sense of you can't miss it. Like Missy Elliott is a psychic one. Ice Spice. Who else is on this list? You also got Langston Hughes, Timbaland. A lot of these are artists, I will say. Tiana Taylor's in there too. Frank Ocean's in there. Lady Gaga's in there. John Legend. There's a lot of influence. J. Cole's also in there. There's a lot of influential people. Cicely Tyson. There's a bunch of cool, dope people who are doing cool, dope things and have made impacts that are larger than life, that have this one energy. And I will also like to say that a lot of times I feel like people will say that you have good or bad numbers, baby. No. Good or bad placements in an astrology chart. I mean, subjective. Relative. It might be, might not be. But I will say that you can achieve whatever it is you're trying to achieve with whatever numbers you got. And sometimes that takes you investing in a conversation with somebody who knows what they're looking for and knows what they're looking at. Because working with me, because I do have, my books are open, I have free consultations, and we start there and we chop it up, we get to know each other, we kick it, and then I'll let you know how I can help you if I can. Because you can create whatever you are trying to create with the foundations that you have. I won't sit over here and say that you were made exactly how you were made for a certain purpose. If you don't relate to that, baby, that's no problem. Whatever, and I mean whatever you want to do on whatever big or small scale that you want to accomplish and achieve, it can be achieved with whatever you got in your pocket. Whether that is a number one or it's any other number, because we're going to be talking about the rest of them. I ain't going to leave you all high and dry like that. But I am going to leave you right here because you need to go cop this book so you can read it, so you can understand your numbers and you can calculate your personal years and your personal months and your personal days, as well as a bunch of other stuff. And you can understand weak and strong periods, exhaustions and purity, and a bunch of other stuff that comes with numbers. We're not just going through 0 through 9. We're getting so much more. We're getting into the characteristics of these numbers, including the number 1. So, go ahead. Tap in. It's linked in the description. And if you want to tap in with me, you want to chop it up and kick it real quick, hey, that's also in the description. So I want to just thank you for listening and learning with me about the number 1, because it's more than just them starts and beginnings. It's a lot more to that. So make sure you share this with somebody who wants to know about numbers in general, but maybe even more specifically the number 1, or who is even just interested in numerology, because I will tell you that I'm that spot for that. So, tap in, follow on IG and TikTok at Numbers with Ishtakari. And as always, it was lovely chatting with you, and I'll talk to you soon. I love you to bits. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.